we noticed that in the Gulf, I kept increasing in speed and increasing in wind gusts and wind velocity. When it got up to 170 miles an hour, Saturday night, Sunday morning, we decided that we shouldn't stay in the home. So at that time, I worked at the New Orleans International Airport. So we decided to pack a couple of bags and just go wait it out at the airport. Overnight, you heard the typical bluster of a hurricane. A lot of wind, a lot of rain, but of course we're in an airport, so you really don't feel the full magnitude of it. When we awoke on Monday morning, the first thing we noticed is that there was no power. Now, what's neat about the airport is they have emergency generators. So we had regular power, but for whatever reason, we noticed that no TV stations were on. Okay, so that was a red flag. Turned into the afternoon, we started hearing people over the regular handheld band radios talking about the devastation and how bad the wind damage was. So I was listening to a radio broadcast. So people were just talking about their experiences, and I remember it being about 2 o'clock Tuesday morning. They were talking to this young lady, and she said, "I don't know where all this water's coming from." And the guy said, "What water?" She said, "There's water coming into my house." And he said, "Well, you need to get out of there." And her phone went dead. Then that was the first inkling that there was an issue with water. Now, at that point, they didn't say the levees had broken or anything. It was just water in the street. That Wednesday, my wife and I drove back to the West Bank just to see the home. And for the most part, it was still standing, but the roof was gone, which means that everything on the upstairs level was totally destroyed. I was glad that the house was still standing, to be honest with you, because at this point I thought that, with my insurance, we could be back in the place within a couple of months, and life would go on as normal. But we returned to the airport, and my boss informed us that the airport will be closed indefinitely, which means that they could carry our salaries at the most 2 weeks, but after that, they couldn't carry us anymore. They gave the managers the option of going to different locations. And my wife picked Richmond because her company, Lowe's, would be able to relocate her to Richmond. September 12th, 2005 at 5 p.m. We pulled into the DoubleTree Hotel across from the airport.
What was the hardest part about making the move here and leaving home?
Memories. I mean, we had lived in that home, for 19 years. To me, prior to Katrina, I never thought about leaving New Orleans. Never, ever. Since Katrina, my tastes have changed.
Tell me about that. Why didn't you go back?
Well, 2 hurricanes is enough. Betsy followed by Katrina. That area of the country, that region, is susceptible to hurricanes.